Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testies. 1, 2, 3. If you guys hear a banshee in the background, that's just my son. He's getting ready to take a nap, but my wife's dealing with it. So when you guys see me reschedule my streams, just know it's because it's family related, right? If my wife goes and says, "Hey, are you busy? Hey, I need this, 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 and that. Are you busy?" I'm not going to be like, "Yeah, I'm busy. I have a live stream." Right? I'm not going to do that. I'm sure you guys understand. I'm sure you guys understand you come third to her, right? Which is still a very good position to be in. What's up, Aurora? Yeah, family comes first, always. So if you hear a banshee in the background, he likes to do this crazy, like a raptor scream when he's hanging out on a swing. But either way, guys, I want to welcome you back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. And once again, we are focused in on the Nancy Guthrie case. It's one of those cases that comes along, you know, during the first full snow moon of the year and just terrifies a community, a country, and a planet. And it's not only the crime that is terrifying, it's the coverage, it's the investigative team responsible for conducting the investigation, the official one anyway. All of this has become terrifying to me. The nuclear fallout, everything about this case is very strange. What's up, because? But the two things that we're going to focus in on today, well, actually three. Brian Enton's comment was just posted about an hour ago. And this also shows how ahead of the curve we are, you guys. We are so far ahead of everybody else right now with our amateur investigation. It is disgusting. We should not be this ahead at all. We should not be this far ahead of all of these professionals. Even the journalists, even Brian, right? We are way ahead. So we'll focus in on the evidence, right? The ransom. I don't think we've quite deciphered that yet. So we're going to focus in on the ransom, the porch guy video, the timeline, and then this comment by Brian. Shout out to Brian Enton, by the way. He's definitely doing some real work on the ground. But like I said, we're still, I feel like we are ahead. Even if he's in a close second, we're still ahead. Brian's comment. Neighbors tell me investigators were seen back behind Nancy Guthrie's house over the last few weeks on a gravel alleyway that leads into the area. And then he did a whole video on it. I didn't watch the video because I didn't want any of my opinions to be skewed, but I definitely recommend it. And after this stream, I'll probably go watch it. At some point today, I will be watching this video. All right, so I want you to focus in on this right here. Gravel alleyway. How long have we been talking about the gravel alleyway? Right? In the foot. Or in the leg, I'm sorry. The leg in the foothills. Better yet. Why do we call it the leg? Because it looks like a lower leg, right? You got the calf muscle, the ankle, and then a little foot here. Well, the lower leg represents all of the entry and exit points to Nancy's home. There's only 5 of them. If you're driving a vehicle and you're not going off-road. Right? And they're all represented here with these blue markers. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. And last time I went boots on the ground, I marked this as an area of interest. Why? Because I feel like it would be strategic to park outside of the leg, secure Nancy, and then just quickly pull in and pull out. Even if you have to take the 15-minute walk back over here, and it's probably less than 15 minutes because this is a short distance. Remember the two fresh Taco Bell cups that were found right here. Well, either way, law enforcement is back on the service alley that we've been talking about from the very get-go. Right? I told you how great of a place this would be for somebody to creep up. Maybe even just park right here or just simply travel through. Right, everybody thinks that this terrain is treacherous. It's not. I grew up in this terrain. I ran around this terrain as a kid. Me and all of my neighborhood friends ran through this terrain at full speed with our bikes, dirt bikes, whatever we can get our hands on. There's nothing treacherous about it. Yeah, maybe there's thick parts like over here that you'd have to duck, if, you know, kind of wiggle your way through. Yeah. But if you have a job to do, I mean, the rat guy didn't mind going through here. What was his name? Jake? What the hell's his name? Yeah, Jake. So shout out to Jake. I think he works for Truly Nolan. He went right through there. This is not treacherous terrain. If you have a plan that involves making $4 million, this is a sandbox. What's up, Summer? Inner Strength, the Jari. Melanie with the super chat. Thank you so much. Your great investigative skills and trying to find Nancy. Very much appreciated. Yeah, guys, I think we're leading the way. We are leading the way. Okay, so let me show you the diagram that I made. Or better yet, this one's a map. We don't need that diagram. Okay, let's drop those for a second. Okay, now why is this important? Remember, Nancy's neighbor Aldine saw a creepy man right here, right? He didn't fit in. He wasn't moving terribly quick like he should be if he was getting exercise, right? You're out there walking, you're keeping a steady pace. The whole point is you're burning calories. You're trying to work out your heart. You're not there to creep around, looking around, taking mental notes. So for whatever reason, on the 11th, there's a man slowly creeping in this direction, paying very close attention to this intersection right here. And why is that important? Well, this is the same location that the neighbor, Lemmy, reported that his dogs were acting strangely. They didn't act that way. The only time they ever acted that way was on January the 11th. And then again February 1st early in the morning. Never before, and they haven't done it after. And I'm telling you guys, it's the little things that I've learned when it comes to these investigations. It's the little tiny details, right? The things that the neighbor's like, don't worry. No, tell me. Oh, there's this one guy drove by, gave me a stink eye. Okay, tell me more about that. Just, it's the minute pieces of information. Okay, well, apparently law enforcement is now back here searching this gravel pit. And honestly, a lot of this falls into place with the Richard Nolette theory, right? Him being the creepy guy, finding out where he's going to pull in his little truck All right, he comes creeping in through the alleyway here. Parks his vehicle. Walks through here. Breaks in. Subdues Nancy. Or kills her. If it's him, it's most likely death, right? And I don't know. I don't even know if he's capable or even involved. It's just a theory. But I think it would be easier to come without your vehicle, check everything out before you extract Nancy. Just simply tie her up, gag her, and then creep back out. Remember, we have that quick image of a guy. So he probably came around the front, and that's where we get that one image. And let me pull that up. The one that we really don't know what date it's from. And I think it's from the same night. So I think he's already has Nancy tied up in the room, and he's kind of looking around. He's preparing the entrance of the vehicle. Right, we have this vehicle. I need to bring this vehicle. It's time to transport her. I can't bring it through the back. So this is him now transitioning from this stage to now acting on what he's learned. Right, I've learned that there's a camera here, and for whatever reason, I can't shut it down by cutting off the Wi-Fi. And I don't think that he's cut the power anymore, because look, the lights overhead are casting his own shadow. There's two porch lights on each side, and they're both casting a shadow. One's going this way and one's going this way. So that tells me that the power is on. The power is on, but this guy thinks that the Wi-Fi is off. Right? He's like, the Wi-Fi is off. What the hell is this camera doing lighting up when I step in front of it? He quickly steps out of the way. Later returns as this guy at around 2:12. Or this could even be the 2:12 guy. And then he comes back prepared. But I think that this is 2:12 here. Everybody says, oh, the porch guy was, why was he there from 147 to 228? He wasn't. 147 was when the Wi-Fi disconnected. We don't know when he was in the house. As far as I know, the 212 moment from here to the 228 moment is like, it's about 15 minutes. That to me sounds about right. But this is probably only the other half of his visit there to Nancy's, right? The first half is him actually just probably walking right in. This could even be somebody that conned Nancy, right? Somebody that Savannah, Annie, Tommaso, they didn't know anything about. Approaches Nancy, becomes friendly with her. Oh, yeah, I'm a homeless guy, or I'm a little bit down on my luck. I'm just a Christian. Maybe somebody that's been stalking her. Maybe even hacked into her system. Or just learned about her. Kind of created their own profile. Approached her. And became a friend with her. That she might have been embarrassed about. Not really embarrassed, but think about it. If Nancy came and told Annie and Tommaso, yeah, I've been helping this guy. I know you guys wouldn't approve, but yeah, I let him come in. Like, he can come in and he can shower, when he wants. And he just comes in and showers, grabs food, and then he leaves. Like, he doesn't bother me. I just tell him if he needs help, he can come on in. Could explain why the doors were open. This person was able to communicate with Nancy somehow, and she was expecting him. He parks his vehicle in the alleyway because remember, whoever did this was doing recon earlier on the 11th right here. This is where they selected. This is the area that they've chosen. Right? Aldine sees this creepy guy. He's not moving very fast. His shoes don't match for somebody that's out on a morning walk. And for whatever reason, he's paying very close attention to this intersection right here. The same intersection where the dogs are acting strangely. And now, the same intersection that they are now back at investigating on a gravel alleyway that leads into the area. And what's interesting, last time, well, actually 2 times ago when I went boots on the ground, I was showing you guys this entrance here. Well, 2 times ago, Lemmy put up a sign here that said road closed. It said road closed right here. Now, when I was in Tucson this weekend, he had that sign. It wasn't blocking the road because this is a service road. He has no right to block this road. The workers need access to, there's a few phone lines that come right across here. So he needs access to that. Or the city does. Or the county, whatever, whichever. So he can't block that. So when I checked on him most recently this weekend, it now said no trespassing, and the sign was a little bit off to the left. So Lemmy knows what the hell is going on with this road. The reason he blocked that road off is because he knows in his heart of hearts, in what he's learned, that the kidnapper could have come through there, could have utilized this road to brutalize Nancy. Because to me, it's perfect. Everybody goes, well, why would he walk through that treacherous desert? It's not treacherous. I guarantee all these neighborhood kids that live in these homes run through here, ride their bikes through here, have clubhouses, underground forts, BB gun fights, whatever it is, they are back here running around, and they make it home safe every day. Same goes for the Guthrie children, right? They have this tree house back here. And I guarantee they would run around here. Let's go to Strawberry. What's up, Strawberry? I honestly believe they have proof that Nancy was taken home. There's a camera in Nancy's garage. They're just not releasing the footage. Yeah, and it's my opinion that they don't need any footage of her. They have her cell phone data. That cell phone data is going to tell a story of life and of routine. Okay, so we have a man. What's he doing there January the 11th? Plotting on Nancy. Is he plotting on the neighborhood or is he plotting on Nancy? Is it somebody who's into old lady sex? Like Nolette? Or is this somebody who has a grudge against Savannah specifically and will use her to get the money that is needed? Right? If I'm going to brutalize somebody, let's brutalize one of my enemies. Right? That's kind of more in line with somebody that has a conscience. Now, if it was a psychopath, they just wouldn't care. In my opinion. They wouldn't care, even if it was their own family. They don't care. They're going to get what they need. And they don't care who gets in the way. But somebody that's apologizing and trying to give you a little bit of comfort, like, oh, she's buried with nature, you know, trying to give you everybody wants to have a good last thought of their loved ones. They need, in my opinion, just not doing nothing yet, says Sheila. I mean, the fact that they're barely coming back out here to this road right here is very alarming to me. This is where I felt like they should have been the entire time. Now, the only reason I bring up RN is because before anybody even knew who Aldine was, right? This woman who is providing tip information to law enforcement about a strange man on the 11th. Remember, it was the FBI and Pima County asking for any footage from the 11th. Okay, so she made her comment, right? The day that she talked to Brian Enton, and said, this was before the letter stuff, right? Obviously. She tells Brian Enton, hey, I saw a creepy guy in front of my house. Here, I'll play the video. And that same day, Richard Nolette knows who she is, knows where she lives.
Getting ready in the morning, and I saw him out there. So I couldn't make out his face. Oh, he was in kind of street clothes, not shoes that you'd walk in, and he had a baseball hat really low, and he was kind of hunched over, and he was kind of looking around. And
okay, so it's at this moment that RN sees this video and sends her 2 packets filled with that creepy Zodiac cipher stuff. How does he know where she lives? I mean, I guess you could look it up. But why does he pick her? Is it because she's talking about him? Is he this guy? Look, is that Nolette right there? His hat down. Because remember, when he talked to me, he was talking about getting the reward. He was talking about me finding Nancy at Rose Canyon Lake and that information leading to him getting the reward. That's what he said to me. He's like, I don't know if they're going to give me the reward or not. So it makes you wonder if Nancy really is in Rose Canyon Lake. Would that be in nature? Like in the water?
and he was kind of hunched over, and he was kind of looking around, and he just didn't fit. And he wasn't going terribly quickly like a normal person that's getting exercise. He was kind of going slowly. And when he walked by this street, he really took a long look at it.
Even Brian's like, oh, shit. Right? So when he... Listen to what she says here.
Took a long look at it. He really took a long look at it. When he walked by this street, he really took a long look at it.
Took a long look at it. Now, why the hell would he do that? Because he's making his final decisions. And I think he picked yes. This is it. There are no cameras anywhere along here. And I'm not ruling out this assisted living facility right here either. It could easily be somebody from this area, from this facility, explaining the 2 fresh Taco Bell cups. Somebody with the confidence to take an elderly woman, right? I work with the elderly. I'm a nurse. And then they just find like a strange man up the street. But to me, it all fits with what I believe to be true, right? The fact that I believe that I seen RN there at the bottom of Rose Canyon Lake. And I don't care what anybody says, right? And then the old truck that was harassing Dad's Gone Live, and then the signs that were placed. Remember, you had Dad's Gone Live. He said a prayer. He went out to Nancy's house and he said a prayer. He said, Lord, give us a sign. And then he went and drove around, checking out, came back to Nancy's. And there was a creepy guy walking around the neighborhood, kind of slender. He looked like he belonged there. He was kind of dressed like that. Looked like he was out for a walk, but for whatever reason, he was concerned about Dad's Gone Live, and he started filming him. Right, probably because he was driving around the neighborhood. But the moment that Dad's Gone Live started talking, he said, "Oh, I bet you the porch guy's watching us right now." And he's like, "Where are you, Mr. Porch Guy? Where are you?" Out of nowhere comes this old truck. This old beat up white Chevy truck with dents on the side. And it stood out to Jacob, who is the creator of the channel Dad's Gone Live. So Jacob says, "I'll never forget that car." He says, more importantly, I'll never forget that truck and the way it smelled. It just didn't belong. So he's asking for a sign. Signs pop up. Here, let me show you the signs that popped up. I know you guys weren't paying attention to this prior to this, but hopefully you are now. Let's see. I thought I did a comparison. I know I posted a comparison online. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I have my comparison, but I do. I have everything else. So Jacob goes in front of Nancy's and prays for a sign. Later that day, these signs, which you can tell were made quite hastily. Right? Oh, you're praying for a sign? Let me go ahead and show you the sign. Why? Because I'm playing cat and mouse. I'm a psychopath. I'm a serial killer. Right? This all means something. Sign number 2. I think there was actually 3. Talking about Guthrie and the Carol Shimmick case. Now, what's interesting about the Shimmick case in Yavapai County, that's out there near Flagstaff. So I did do a comparison. I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere here. Let me go to my X account real quick. It's probably there. So just bear with me. I'm going to scroll a little bit. Here it is. There. Problem solved. What the hell? Oh my god, this is so annoying. Sorry guys, hold on. Problem not solved. God. I hate Windows Internet. What is that shit called? Edge or something? It's like, I swear it's like hacking my system. Can't stand that shit. And it wants to pop up so bad. Can't get rid of it either. Here, I'm just going to screenshot this. Let's see, open a new image. Yeah, there we go. Screenshot. Okay, so once RN went and did his video, right? He did it like in this weird multicolored like markers, like Crayola markers or something. So here's the comparison between his handwriting and the hasty work that was done with these signs, right? Jacob's asking for a sign. Somebody all of a sudden comes out and makes these giant signs and posts them over the no parking signs for Nancy Guthrie. Right? This is obviously somebody playing cat and mouse who is watching the YouTubers. So Jacob asked for a sign. We have 2 signs. Jacob says, I bet you the porch guy's watching me, after he found the signs and reported them to the sheriff. Right? Jacob found them. He's like, what the hell is this? And he made the comment like, I bet you the person who put these signs up is the guy in that old truck we saw. Because he saw the old truck near the area of the signs. And then later on, the old truck comes out of nowhere in the middle of the night. I think it was like 12 at night. Jacob's like, I'm just going to patrol the neighborhood. Right? It was still fresh. Everybody was watching. There was like 5,000 people in the stream. It's 12 at night. And he's talking about the bridge, or the porch guy watching him. He's like, the porch guy's watching. The porch guy, hey, and he's like talking to him. Then out of nowhere, here comes that old truck. Let me see if I have that photo. Yeah, this old truck right here. He's like, I know you're watching me, porch guy. And this truck comes out of nowhere. Like a minute and 30 seconds after he says that. So after he asks for a sign on this same day, he gets 2 signs. And after he mentions the porch guy comes. As if to say, I'm right here, guys. Like I am right here watching you. I am hiding right here in plain sight. I mean, why would you choose Pima County in the Catalina foothills? Because of the incompetence of the law enforcement in that area. They make it easy to prey on that area. That's why it's important that you got to get these types of sheriffs and people who are running the investigative team. If they're not doing a good job, they got to go. Right? If you're running a basketball team and you've lost every game, you're not getting hired again. Right? If you've lost all 5 of your first games, you might get fired for the next 5. Well, at least you should. So we got this old truck. Now remember, the way that I even found Richard Nolette was him leaving creepy ass comments all over the fucking place, right? He's fishing. And he caught me. He's like, oh, I got one. Oh, I got the sleuth guy. Right? I got him. And then it's almost as if he tried to lure me out to the lake. After I was lured out there, good thing that I kept everything quiet and secret so that I couldn't be ambushed. I see this, what appears to be this exact truck. Now, some argue that it's blue on top. That I'm not sure. The truck I saw was completely white. And it was dented in like this on the side. But the one I saw had a huge camper. Not a huge camper, but a camper that just fits right onto the back of the truck. Like somebody could possibly be living right outside the city. Camping out, maybe even up at Rose Canyon Lake. And the individual that I saw sitting in this car was a bald-headed man with a goatee. and he was like struggling with his cell phone. So I noticed him first. I was like, oh shit, no way. I was all, no way it could be that guy, right? No way this is RN. So I got a really good look at him. I'm like, well, it fucking looks like him. And then in the rear view mirror is when I got a really good look at the truck. Chevy emblem, completely white, dented on the side, big camper over the top. So why is the truck that's at the bottom of the hill, appears to be the same truck that's here with Jacob, on the night that he found the signs? So I did a comparison. And you guys can be the judge. So the one in yellow is from the signs. The one next to it is from the notes that RN made visible on his channel. Same thing goes with the eye. On the left, notes from the channel. On the right, the sign that was made and posted on the no parking signs outside of Nancy's home or around. Here's the notes. Here's from the sign. Here's from the notes. Here's from the sign. And look at the C. Like the way it's kind of squared off. Interesting. Same goes with the S. I believe the S's are almost identical. But either way, I definitely wouldn't overlook that theory for sure. We're not going to die on that hill. But just because something is lining up so much, you know, we're not going to disregard it. And just because we interviewed RN, we're not going to become best friends with him, right? Especially after the dude's posting playlists about old lady sex. Like, what's up with that? Here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see. So here's a screenshot. And this is an AI image that I created. And I just wanted to show this to Alex. Like, hey, if you're out there, keep a lookout for something like this. So this is not an actual photo. This is what I saw, a representation of what I saw. And before he deleted it, and why did he delete it, right? I got a nice screenshot. If we're looking for that parasocial, we got this guy who he's obsessed with sodomy. He'll apologize about it. He'll say, oh, I'm sorry to bring this up, but baby's being sodomized. He'll apologize before bringing it up, but he cannot stop talking about it for whatever reason. And remember, this is a playlist that he created, right? This isn't a playlist that's online. These are words that he typed in. Old lady sex. He's got 388 videos on this playlist. Yuck. What about this one? These are his words. Held in nature. 343 videos. And I believe he tried to lure me out there. So I don't know if Nancy's actually buried in that lake or if he was planning on putting me in the lake. Right? Because he made this comment during our interview. He said part of the black magic of Satanism is if you tell somebody what your plan is and they're dumb enough to do it anyway, they deserve what's coming. So if he could lure me out there, knowing the danger, it's like my fault if he can get his hands on me. Nancy might not be buried out there or dumped in that lake, but maybe he was planning on dumping somebody in the lake. Good thing I have my intuition. My intuition told me that that was a possibility. Not to give any dates and specific times. That's why when I went out to Rose Canyon Lake, I was already out there at the lake set up before I went live. And when I went live, I got like 20 messages from RN. Like most of them were all the same message because he didn't have a signal. He couldn't send it to me. Right? So if anybody's been on Rose Canyon Lake, you know that your cell signal, you lose it up at the top of the hill. Even your Starlink goes out. The mountains just kind of surround you out of nowhere. So if he was up there waiting for me, that could explain why I was getting the same email over and over and over and over again. It would also explain why he would be at the bottom of the hill when I was leaving. Right? Why would he be at the bottom of the hill? So that he can get good signal. I don't know if you guys are outdoors people, but sometimes when you go camping and you get bad cell signal, you have to drive to a certain location where the cell phone is good. And that's where everybody is kind of accumulating. You're like, oh, everybody must be out here trying to make a phone call. Right? This is the only place with cell tower around here. And that's what this individual in this old white truck with the camper that looks like Richard Nolet. I couldn't say it was him for sure, but it was a bald guy with a goatee. So if that's what he looks like now, that's who I saw. But he was messing with his cell phone, like he was having problems. He was trying to send me information. Remember the video I got? He claimed was his brother Michael, who was the actual killer. That's what he was sending me, was that video. Oh yeah, what about this one? Right, he can't stop talking about sodomy. That probably explains why he has a video, 189 videos titled Monkey Butt. Container homes. Chicks. 117 videos. ESMA. Best fights. And he had a lot more too. This was just like a quick grab. Special songs. Narcissist winning. Oh my God. Narcissist love story. The falling mask. I missed. The narcissist teaches you to erase yourself. If this doesn't look like a serial killer profile, I don't know what does. All right, let's talk about the ransom letters, right? An RN doesn't shut up about how smart he is, right? I've graduated with a master's. I'm a genius. Look at my cipher. Right? I found Nancy's name in the cipher. Couldn't that explain why she was targeted? Because some psychopath had delusions of Nancy and Savannah's name in this cipher that he's been obsessed about? See, a lot of you YouTubers out there, they don't like it when it gets real, right? You go around looking for a killer, don't be surprised when you find him. But a lot of these other YouTubers, they kind of panic. They're like, oh no, right, it can't be RN. So they start finding reasons to dismiss him. And I'm not a firm believer in confirmation bias. I think it's important that you recognize it within yourself and you have the ability to set it aside. And that's what I did. And it was still very alarming to me. To me, it checks all the boxes. All right. Hello, Savannah. Right? Somebody that might see Savannah's name in a cipher, somebody who feels now that they are in their own mind possibly friendly. Right? Kind of like us covering Nancy's case, we refer to her as Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. We feel like we know her. Right? We don't know her. We feel like we've come to know her. Same can be said with the psychopath. Majority of people are full of fear. That's why they hate politics, because politics is a type of war. Yeah, that's true. Psychological warfare is terrifying. Janie G. Oh, you sent me an email. Let me check. Let's see. Curbside, classic curbside outtake. I don't know what that is. I think that's where I got the picture. Yeah, and of course it had a virus attached to it. Thanks. Good thing I have a good protection. But yeah, that was the like I said, the image that I showed you guys is not real. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this. The image with the bald guy in the goatee is not a real image. Please let that sink in. What's up, BB? Hello, Savannah. Right? I know you, or I feel like I know you. We have your mother, Nancy. We? Is it him and his other personalities, or just him trying to sound, more organized or maybe even more powerful? She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. You will need to send Bitcoin in the amount of 4 million USD before 5 p.m. on Thursday the 5th. If payment is not received, the ransom will be increased to 6 million USD, which will need to be paid by 5 p.m. on Monday the 9th. Once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop-off location back in Tucson. Well, back in Tucson could be, hey, I'm over here on Mount Lemon, and I'll come back to Tucson. If payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be killed. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. Her life is in your hands, dude. Right, like the Big Lebowski. Her life is in your hands. Let's see. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiation. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. So this could just be more cat and mouse, right? We're getting this vibe of like staging of some kind of a crime scene. But in reality, it's like this could just be a cat and mouse game. A way of It's kind of playing with law enforcement. When I called in and we talked about the playlist from my cameras within the same 24-hour period. Oh, that would be terrifying. I don't know. You should go ask Patriot Pride. Apparently he saw what he looks like and doesn't want to tell us. You know, that's fucking weird. Just say yes or no. He looks like the guy, kind of. I hate that bullshit. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition, right? Guthrie family. Because now he has all of them involved, right? Right before this, Cameron came out and said, I'm representing the Guthrie family. If this is a cat and mouse game, now I have them all playing. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. This is almost just playing on information that might have been learned after he murdered her. Right? More cat and mouse. We never intended to hurt her. We. Right? Trying to stage it as if this was a kidnapping and you're working with the team, when in reality it's just one individual, perhaps, with parasocial issues. Intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. Right? If I keep talking this way, they will believe me. Which will make it harder for them to profile the individual, right? So it's almost like he's not trying to stage anything. He's just playing cat and mouse and fighting against the profile that they're trying to build on this individual, or at least keep them guessing. That was not our intention, which tells me that it probably was. She perished shortly after she was taken. Perished. We believe it was heart-related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. Which is, it seems like a lie to me, right? That sentence tells me that she was dead much earlier than the second, or definitely much earlier than the third. Because if nothing would have changed the outcome, that means that even if Savannah paid the $4 million, the moment they received the ransom, immediately, let's say she just paid it, right? 12 hours later, she would have been released. That would have saved her. So that tells me that she died before that. Right? She died before whatever was going on in this first letter. She will be released within 12 hours. Well, if nothing could have saved her, if nothing could have been done to save her, it kind of gives us an idea when she passed away. Either exactly after this letter was created or during the kidnapping. Or, you know, it was intended to be a murder. And I just pray that it wasn't some kind of a serial killer playing games with Savannah and with us. Really, anybody that wants to play the game can play. That's why when it came to RN, I stopped playing. I'm not playing your game. But remember, Savannah's talking to a Hannibal Lecter type. She's playing the game.
Talk to her, and you'll talk to her, and you'll see.
She's playing. Right? She's pulling stuff right out of that playbook. The FBI playbook that was used to help write that movie. That movie is about, really, it's about Gary Ridgway and Ted Bundy. And Ted Bundy's willingness or his want to try to help capture him or to work with the FBI to build a profile on him. Right? That's Hannibal Lecter. Ted Bundy. And Buffalo Bill is Gary Ridgway out there trying to beat his record. He was killing for numbers. He was a competitive killer. He said, I wanted to be the most prolific serial killer in the world, even more so than Ted Bundy. That's why Ted Bundy wanted to stop him, because Ted Bundy is a competitive killer as well. He's doing it for the numbers. He's proud to be a serial killer. He loves the attention. He loves the cat and mouse of it all. Thank you, Mary. Uncler. True that. True that. Showing my age. Fan, what up? Good to see you, Paige. Everybody, welcome in. Another interesting thing that I posted on X recently was the years, right? 1990, 1983, separated by 7 years. 7, it's all 777. Right? January and August, separated by 7 months. And both are dated as a Monday. So I don't know if that means anything. Or it could just be completely random. But why put in August 1st and before you put in January 1st? Why put in 1990 and then you put in 1983? So you have 7, 7, and then your first time you mention a number, it's the number 7. So I don't know if this is some kind of a Caesar cipher code or what the hell that means. 777. Let's see. You got. Oh yeah, we've watched this before. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Thanks for the email. We've shown this before, Lynn. Thank you. Yeah, I think the wrench attack checks a lot of the boxes too, especially what was going on with the neighbors and things like that. Right, it kind of has this vibe that, let's say 2 guys were dropped off. They come creeping through the desert. Maybe they were even banging on the door, right? They're banging on Nancy's door. She doesn't have her hearing aids in, so she doesn't wake up. So they break in, and then they find Nancy. They're like, oh, shit, there's a lady in here. She wakes up. Things kind of go haywire. They got to tie her up. And then they find out who she is. Then they get the idea. I think more work needs to be put in on a possible Colorado connection. Why? What's the nexus? Shout out to Ontario. Lorelei from Canada, Ontario. 7 is the number of the completion in the Bible. I mean, it could very well just be a coincidence, right? I'm just going to type in something random. January 1st, 1990. But why move all the way over to August? Right, which is the month that we're in now. This is very interesting. What's up, Dolly? This land, because 12 hours for body return in Colorado was where the Google searches came out of. I thought the Google searches came out of Arizona. Digital footprinting. How so, Mile? I know what you're saying, but I believe whoever did this beat the cyber crimes investigation. He was able to avoid detection, not only with the license plate readers, but whatever he's doing online. But I think it's possible that Nancy was making relationships that nobody was aware of. There was a case I was covering out of Arizona, the Benjamin Anderson case. He was one of those individuals that could easily be taken advantage of by somebody who wanted to wish him harm. Right? Act like you're in danger, you're in hurt, you really need help. Now, Ben was known to help anybody in need. But wickedness will prey on that. Evil will prey on that. Your kindness, yeah, they'll take advantage of it. A lot of these true crime stories involve people who will give the shirt off their back. Those are the people that get targeted. And it's sad. Because, you know, if we had more people like that, the world would just be a much better place, in my opinion. So it sucks that people like us, us true crime folks, right, we're paranoid all the time. Because we're educating ourselves on the dangers out there. A lot of people, they just keep their heads in the sand, right? Let's just forget about what happened to Nancy. So what? There's a scary masked man, right? It's like a shark attack, right? He won't come back here, right? Lightning never strikes in the same place twice. I have nothing to worry about. This was a freak accident. It happened to Nancy. I just want to go back to my normal life. Right? There's no going back to your normal life. There's just you putting your head in the sand. But the danger is still right there, probably standing over you while your head is in the sand and you wouldn't even know it. That's what separates the true crime community from the rest of the folks. We are educating ourselves on a daily basis about the dangers that surround us in daily life. And we are coming to a full understanding of that danger and how it hides in plain sight right in front of us. Targeting, coveting, hating, anger, jealousy, the plotting, right? The shock of finding out that a close family member is a psychotic, sadistic killer who is targeting you just for your money. It happens all the time. The 12 hours was a ruse. Yeah, I feel like it was a ruse too. Like if she was alive and this was a legitimate kidnapping, she would just kind of pop up somewhere, right? Oh, what happened? Oh, I don't know what happened. Like I had my face covered and before I knew it, I was just dropped off and, you know, I struggled to even make it out here to the road. So I don't know if that's what they had planned. But if we are dealing with like a psychopath, a very intelligent one, this could all just be part of the cat and mouse. Especially somebody living in a truck with a camper out in the middle of nowhere. This would be great entertainment for a sadistic individual, right? Oh, you can't find me. And even if you do find me, I'm mobile, right? Even if you do find out who I really am and you find out I have an apartment back in California that's locked down with cameras, I don't even live there, yet I pay for it. In reality, I'm running around in this truck trying to convince people that my daddy was the Zodiac killer. No. There's something more to it, perhaps. Hey, Lake Life, I looked at my notes, and in one of the ciphers he said, 7 down was a message to Savannah. Can you send that to me? Clip that. I don't know if you're on X or whatever, but that would be a good clip there. Tag me in it or send it to me. Or send me the marker, and I'll play it. What's up, Penny? He did say another kill July 4th. Oh, you guys want to hear something really interesting? Let me see if I have it. Just give me a second here. Okay, let's go to the Amy Hilliard story.
OPD told us late this afternoon that there's new video of Amy Hilliard from 4:30 Wednesday afternoon, and it is in this area near Zion Lutheran Church where they've set up their command post here. So they've focused their search today in this area. That video is from more than 2 hours after she left her home, and family and friends say they're holding out hope she will be found alive and well. Searchers are combing hillsides, trails, and neighborhoods across wide parts of Oakland, looking for 52-year-old Amy Hilliard.
She personifies all this great about this great city.
We talked to Amy's longtime friend, Tom Green, at a weekend vigil for the beloved mother and local business owner Sunday night. Hilliard was last seen leaving her home near Lake Merritt on Radnor Road Wednesday afternoon and was said to be going for a walk. OPD says Amy is 5 foot 4 inches tall, has blonde hair, and was wearing a white t-shirt, light-colored blue jeans, and white shoes with black stripes when she was last seen. Since then, the family says the number of volunteers involved in her search has grown into the hundreds. Green says he's not surprised so many people have given their time to help.
She literally feeds the community. She feeds her friends.
You see what I'm referring to? Feeds the community. Right? This is somebody that may have gotten in contact with her and charmed her. Right? Somebody that lives like a homeless person that just lives off the grid. Perhaps even good looking. Maybe around the same age. Right? Somebody that's maybe propositioning them for a date. Right? Just kind of over time breaking them down, getting to know them. But with evil intentions of just getting them alone. All I need is to get this individual alone in a dark alley or in my vehicle, and that's it. They're mine.
And family in her home, and she's fed citizens of Oakland and San Francisco on both sides of the bay through her coffee shop.
Amy and her husband own Farley's coffee shop chain, and Amy helped found Oakland Montessori. The love and support for Amy and her family so evident at Sunday's vigil.
I told you, all these people that become victims of this type of crime are always great people who will give the shirt off their own back. That is who the evil, that's what evil needs, right? Come with me. Come help me. Oh, I'm not going to judge you, right? I'm not afraid of you. I'm here to help you. Yes, come help me over here. Yes, I need your help just a little bit further. Right? That wickedness just kind of calls. Yes, over here. Into the shadows. So I want to tell you guys an interesting story about Amy Hilliard. The private investigator working her case reached out to me specifically about RN. Now, the questions that they were asking had everything to do with therapy. Now, remember, when I spoke to RN, that's how the beginning of our conversation started. How he was in therapy and that his father was going to kill his therapist and all this. He's been in therapy for over 15, 20 years, and he just recently separated with his therapist, and he was looking for a new one. And he was like, "Oh, Patrick, you could be my therapist." I was like, "Nah, fuck that." Well, what's interesting is the private investigator reached out to me about Amy, was asking me about RN and about the therapy and things like that. So let that sink in before you become dismissive. What's up, Lisa? Lisa Red Willows. Yes, because DGL took it to the Gem House Lady House and asked if it would be her grandchildren's book. What's up, BMW? What are you referring to? Jen, what up? Blue Eyes, how you doing? She stopped because she knew he was sicko. That's the good thing going on with this sleuth. A new guy taking over the case as they're going back to the scene. Am I right? I'm sure requesting neighbors that are starting from scratch. I hope so. It's still pretty early in the case. I think that they could find something. Things might still be standing out to people in the neighborhood, maybe even just workers or people that pass through. I'm telling you, it's always like this weird bits of information that seem really minute, maybe even meaningless. But a lot of times it's those little details that seem to break things loose. What's up, Judy? Who's faithful servant? I've just noticed her in the streams lately. Don't know. Tucson girl, split personality, ransom note writer. First note, he's a terror. But second note, he's sorry. His other self was such a terror. Yeah, it kind of gives you that vibe. Like we. Heard go sub up to him. Yep, can't believe how many times Heard go sub up to him. Faithful, welcome. Big kudos. Yeah, it always seems like their family members don't warn you because they fear what can happen to their immediate family if they do. Yeah, it's true. Pickle Toes. Howdy, howdy. And everyone from very hot Anna, Texas. I was born in Oakland, California. Oaktown. Grew up there, watched fireworks over Lake Merritt when I was young. Shout out to Oakland. Where you from? Oakland. Danny says bizarre. Let's go back to full screen on this. So we'll catch up on the comments, then we'll go into the porch guy video a little bit. There's definitely levels of criminal stupid. Davis County, Utah is a prime example. What's up, AZ? Gin Visions. Get Paige, get her. Dog pile. She mentioned another streamer, dog pile. Yeah, if I mention the streamer, you can. That's the rule. Don't mention them unless I do. Because some people might like them, some people might not. You know, and that's not what we're here for. I'm not here for division. But I will call out some bullshit when I do see it. It was all bundled up because he was going through the back with all the cactus. It's not that bad. I'm telling you guys. You could go around the cactus. It's not like some kind of crazy, treacherous terrain. I think this individual, if he's a killer, or if he's worried about his DNA, what you do is you have, I don't know, I think a good idea would be to order it, not even put it on until like you're out of your home, away from your home. You don't want any fibers. You don't want things coming from your carpet. You don't want your wife's hair, your cat's hair, your dog's hair. Keep it in a bag. And then when you get out from your home, you just simply use it to cover yourself. It's just a cover. You just put it over the shirt that you actually want to be wearing. You put this throwaway jacket. That way, if it gets blood on it, it's going to contain any of your own fibers and hair. It's going to contain them. Keep them from falling into Nancy's home and turning into evidence that eventually leads to your arrest. Right? No hair. If you had hair prior to the crime, you shave it off. Gone. Cover your pants with another pair of pants. You have a separate pair of shoes and socks, waiting for you in your vehicle. After you commit the crime, You take all of those items and you put them into a bag and you burn it. So I would guarantee there's a burn pit somewhere, or they just dropped it in with Nancy. And they don't ever want her to be found. Nancy is a pile of evidence to a psychopath, right? It's not a person. It's a thing. Right. It's not Nancy. It's the thing that I buried that could potentially put me in prison. Yep, absolutely. I don't think Porch Guy is real. What do you mean, Geraldine? I don't think PG is... Oh, he said it again. Dog pile. Never considered that Elaine, that's a very good point. Here, let me go all the way to the bottom. You guys are just blowing up the chat. Let's go to asinine search. The ransom notes are erroneous data points. However, if the notes were from a serial killer, then the second note would make sense for his cooling off period. Yeah, kind of like a little bit of regret. Like, I did it again. And soon I will have to do it again. Right? Right now I'm good. Right? I got my power back. I'm feeling energized. It's like a vampire who just drank blood. Right? I'm good for now. I'm nice and powerful. I got my youthful skin back. I still can't go out in the sun. And soon I will need more blood. For now, I'm sorry for what I did. It's something I cannot control. Perpetrators will come across with this persona as if they're such caring persons and will give the shirt off their back. And yet that's what they prey on. Oh yeah, I do not trust nice people. And I know that's ridiculous. But I just think that normal people are not overly nice. Right? So be careful when you have strangers who are taking an interest in your children, randomly want to give you a night out, right? You guys deserve a night out. I don't mind watching the kids. Yeah, no thanks. If you're a nice person, great, right? You go be a nice person for somebody else. I don't need you. I'm glad, God bless you. You sound like a great individual. Thanks for the offer. But nah. Winter Night, what's up? Dolly, you talking about LD when he shaved before the interview? Yeah, it could be. If I was going to go create or commit some kind of horrible crime, I would probably and I was planning it for months, I would let my beard grow out. I would let my hair grow out. So everybody that saw me, saw that I would probably even get a little bit chubby. And then before the crime, I would slim down. Right? It only takes me like a month to. I can put on 20 pounds or lose 20 pounds in a month. Easy. Fasting, working out, just eating habits. So I would do that. I would change up the entire way that I look at the point of the crime. Right? No hair, beard gone. And then I would simply just hide. I wouldn't go out in public for another 2 months. Right? Let the hair grow out. Let the beard grow out. So that kind of leads me to think if it was somebody doing something similar, they probably don't have a regular job. They probably don't spend a whole lot of time with family members and friends. So the way that they look during the crime may not be the way that they normally look. Maybe because she lives next to Nancy. I'm just speculating. G of Twins, Patrick. No. He's like basically one of my persons of interest. It's a short list, and he's at the top of it. Think about it. What we've learned about serial killers, we're just going to ignore all of that because we interviewed the guy. If we're out looking for a killer, do not be surprised when you find him. Right? You don't become friends with him. Oh, because I interviewed you, now we're best friends, right? I'm just gonna ignore the fact that you created a playlist called Old Lady Sex and Monkey Butt with over 400 to 500 videos combined on the two playlists. I'm not gonna forget that because I interviewed you and you're being polite to me. Even if it is to kind of string you along, let me just keep you around. Because at that point, if he is that person, I'm the one that's being toyed with. I'm the one that's letting my guard down, not him. Cindy V, what up? Sleuth, look up the date 8/1/83 and see if anything nationwide happened. Maybe there's a connection. Are those days even Mondays, do we know? If August 1st, 1983, let's see if that's a Monday. Let's see. What day of the week was August 1, 1983? Yeah, it was a Monday. 43 years and 8 days. "43 years and 8 days." And it definitely was a Monday. I guess it would have to be if they're kind of filling out the calendar that's inserted. Or the plugin, the calendar plugin that's part of that web page. So they probably don't have a choice but to put in the accurate date, you know what I mean? I was just wondering if it could be some kind of a clue or... Let's see. Let's check January 1st. What day of the week was January 1, 1990? Monday. New Year's Day, obviously. Let's see. Martin Luther King Jr. Here, let me pull this up. Time and date. Okay, so if you just type in January 1, 1990, was a Monday that marked the start of a new decade, featuring events like David Dinkins being sworn in as New York City's first black mayor, and Phil Collins holding the #1 song, Another Day in Paradise. Let's check the other one. Let's see, August 1, 1983. August 1, 1983 was a Monday. Notable events on this day included the launch, the launch of NBC News at sunrise. That's interesting. Launch of NBC News at sunrise. Remember, this person sent a ransom note through a media page, a news site. Launch of NBC News at sunrise. A service microburst weather event that struck Andrews Air Force Base just minutes after President Ronald Reagan's plane landed. And a historic Test cricket win by New Zealand against England. Launch of NBC News at sunrise. Let's look that up. That's crazy because Savannah works for NBC. NBC News at sunrise. I've never heard of that. News at sunrise. Oh, damn. This shit is old school.
For riding is as young as anyone's.
The speed.
Is that a good feeling?
Oh, yes. I like to ride fast.
So this is NBC Sunrise, anchored by Paul Majors. Taped off KARE, April 6, 1992.
Last year, Gertie and her grandson rode 50 miles for her 99th birthday.
What do you think, Grandma? You ready?
Yeah.
Grandma made a deal with me. She made it to 100 years old. We would do a 100-mile ride.
As this motorcycle great-grandma set off on her journey, she promised to do it all again next year and for as many years as she's around. In Portland, Oregon, Pat Doris for NBC News.
Once a biker, always a biker. For the delegate votes that could give him his party's presidential nomination. But the Arkansas governor is not.
I have acknowledged that there was a pattern of omission there, and that I did it deliberately. I can only tell you that there was no deliberate thing on this.
Deliberate or not, this latest revelation can only...
Last week was an employment report that didn't look as good as we had hoped it would. That raises some questions about the recovery, but at the same time, it brings interest rates down. And as long as interest...
Make glasses more comfortable.
LensCrafters glasses fit your snug
Lens
points with
Crafter.
features like new...
7. The news continues in just a moment. You're watching.
Who's this
Fired, the
guy?
Big rally.
Yeah, so I don't know. Hey, thank you so much, April. Let's go to a super chat. Thanks for the support, guys. Has anyone followed up on the Amy tips he gave you? No, I haven't been contacted since. Hazmat suit booties. Can you tell a fake person millions of miles away? Yeah, I kind of have that gift too. I can smell it. It smells like sulfur. Jen, Highway 17 in a post. It's probably still on the first couple of videos. No thanks. I never left mine with anyone other than my sister. Yeah, and you should. Didn't he also mention, not Amy Pike, it was Emily Pike. And yeah, whoever killed Amy, or excuse me, Emily, and dumped her body, it was like in a camping area. It was like a place that you could pull off the main highway and camp. And it was also during the time of a full snow moon. A year, almost exactly a year from what happened to Nancy. So you have a guy bringing up a case of Emily Pike where she was dismembered and put in bags and spread all over the area. They still haven't found her arms and legs, by the way. God rest her soul. 13-year-old girl. And then a year later, you have something that happened to Nancy, and this guy RN comes on talking about how she was dismembered, placed into bags, and dumped into Rose Canyon, and then starts talking about Emily Pike. Now, if he really is out here in Arizona, I don't believe a word that he says. I'm not here to accuse him or do anything like that. I'm just saying I'm not a fool. I'm not going to believe something just because Mr. Monkey Butt and Old Lady Sex tells me that, right? That's how serial killers kill people. Oh, yeah, you can trust me, right? Help me with this couch, right? Yes, I promise that my arm is really in a cast. It really is broken. Remember, Ted Bundy walked around on crutches and was able to kill 2 people, brutally torture them, kill them, and dump their bodies in one day, simply by playing the ruse of a handicapped person. And that's why in the movie Silence of the Lambs, you have Buffalo Bill with the fake cast on, trying to kind of struggling to put that chair in the back of his rape van. Because he knew that that young woman would help him. Right? You play on kindness. God's children. That's the devil's enemy. Christians, us, God-fearing people. We are the target. Girl mama, only people we trust with my kids especially is my parents. What's up, Sparky? I can put it on, but can't take it off. On volunteering to watch. Yeah, for sure. The shoe. Yashazian. I think Nancy is buried on her own property. Well, see, my problem is I assume they use cadaver dogs. But I don't have any paperwork that says that they did. So wouldn't that be the thing to do right now? To bring cadaver dogs out there? Belinda. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. It's a big riddle. That's how it feels. I feel like somebody's playing cat and mouse with the investigative team and us. Like anybody trying to investigate this case, whether it's the professional investigators or a social media amateur investigation. I feel like whoever did this wants to play. Yeah, we should, Gio. We should do that. We should do like a replay crew review on it. Take notes on that shit. Jari. Blue Cats, what up? April D. I don't know, Texas. I mean, if somebody's pre-planning, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Because back here, the hips do kind of seem a little bit high. But once again, my rule when it comes to video is never assume you know what you're looking at. Right? This could just be like some pixelation kind of stretching across here, causing things to take a different shape. Here's a good example. This image right here. Okay, do you see the light, how it's flaring off? Well, one of the major light flares cuts right across his eyeball right here. And it's causing some distortion right here and down at the bottom of his eye. It could even be a misrepresentation of the shape of this right eye here. See these light flares kind of streaking off the flashlight? One goes right through his right eye, causing it to kind of change the shape. So we have to be careful. Good to see you, Lynn. Let's go to T-Gun. How many times have we watched newsreels where the concerned husband or relative has turned out to be the perp? Many. But that's not one reason to have confirmation bias, right? A good example is Stephen Stearns. Right? A good reason to have confirmation bias is the way he was acting. Right? So that's really not bias. You're using visual evidence to make a decision about somebody's potential guilt. And that could also be why Annie and Tommaso refused to make a public statement. Right? We don't have any of that visual. We don't have any visual cues. Right? Is Tommy going to come up and give an interview and just start crying? Right? Making his eyes all bloodshot because he thinks that that's going to sell his story? Honestly, that's what killers do. They feel this need to make countermeasures, to get involved, because you can kill two birds with one stone that way, right? If you go and hide in plain sight as a witness, you're going to glean information from investigators while also producing information that might change the trajectory of the investigation, right? I want you guys to go over that way. Go in that direction. But the only way for me to make that happen is to get involved and to use it as a countermeasure. So it's like active staging almost. What's up, Mahat? It is impossible. Nancy fed some of the homeless living in the wash behind her house right over the back wall. I don't think there were any homeless people living behind her back wall. But I think it's possible that somebody purposely bumped into her and kind of weaseled their way in like a con man, and maybe over time was allowed to maybe stay over in the casita from time to time, gained her trust, and she didn't tell anybody because if she did, they know that they would tell her not to do that or get involved to come over and kick this guy out, right? And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying we have to be open to that. And the only way you're going to find those answers out is by investigating, by being boots on the ground, talking to neighbors, talking to Tucsonians, and getting the information. It's not just going to come to you. Like streaming helps a lot too. Like by us kind of connecting everybody into one location like this, this is a good way to find information too. Right? This is how we found RN. Leaving all these creepy emails everywhere, or comments everywhere. I don't know if you guys even remember. That's how we found him, you remember? Were the creepy comments, Facebook comments. Or YouTube comments, sorry. All right, let me zip on down. Looks like this will be about our 15-minute warning. Aw, snap. Super chat by Jane says, great show. Thank you. Thanks, Jane. Shout out to Jane with the super chat. Look at you guys. Lydia Hayes. I seen a huge camper too. And the exact description you said, I agree. Tiger Lily. Found interesting information on the dates if you haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. Email me the link if you can. I'll watch it. All right, Paige. Lisa Red Willow's Lunatics. Mark, I love the monkey butt. Something tells me Mark was the class clown. Big kudos. I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through what you go through with the psychopathic narcissist. It's the most unpleasant, evil experience. No one should have to go through that. I agree with that. What's that? Joe DeBella. Hello, people. Investigate this on Sleuth Show. On Cypher, he said he lived in Saco, Maine. Saco, Maine. Tell me more. If you guys want to hit up the Cash App and support the channel, you can. I plan to buy a bunch of T-shirts, so as soon as I'm able to afford that, I will. But yeah, we're going to get some more T-shirts, and we should be going back to Tucson this weekend. I'm just trying to link up with Mark the Shark and to see what he's got going on. Because I know he's talking about going back out there. Yeah, Lydia, it was creepy. But to me, it could have been bait. More of that cat and mouse crap. And I just happened to be the one that bite on it. That's what we do, though. We don't bite on it. We grab the hook. And we pull and we yank it. We see where it goes. We follow the fishing string back to the fishing pole. Instead of biting on the bait. Behold, I send you... I think it's I send you out as sheep amidst the wolves. Ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Behold, I send you out as sheep amidst the wolves. That's true. They were looking at the treehouse back there behind her house. That's what I would from the beginning, Gate Watchers. Because if we're dealing with some kind of a psychopath, I bet you he spent time back there just watching Nancy. Sitting in that little treehouse, just watching. With binoculars, maybe even a thermal camera. Just watching. Fantasizing. And who would fantasize over Nancy? She's an 84-year-old woman. Well, maybe a creepy guy who's into old lady sex, perhaps. Doesn't seem to bother him very much. Snake boots? I got my snake boots. They're not the best, but they'll do. Some nice thick leather Timberlands hiking boots. What's up, Chris? I don't know what the family and government are doing. To me, it appears like Savannah, she has more knowledge about the law and all of that. So if she's going to create a profile, she knows what she's doing. Her profile seems to be like a Hannibal Lecter type. Right? Like she's talking to somebody that is a sadistic psychopath. Talk to her and you'll see.
Talk to her and you'll see.
Right? She's using the same techniques. The profile that she has in her mind is some kind of a psychopath.
Talk to her and you'll see.
wants she wants the kidnapper or the killer to look at Nancy as a human being. So if Savannah wants the killer or the kidnapper to look at her mom as a human being, that means that she assumes that he's not. What's up, Libby6? Pima County Sheriff's Department is not interested in doing anything that will actually solve the case. Enhancing law enforcement will not be able to help you. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I feel like these killers, they pick their victims based on whoever is running the law enforcement in the area. So this is perfect territory, right? Pima County. Commit a crime. Guess who's in charge? Nanos. Easy work, right? Easy work. From a criminal's perspective. Why? Because he fired everybody. He fired anybody with actual experience for political reasons. It's fucked up. It breaks my heart when stuff like that happens. It's disgusting. There's no room for that. Right? We want the best of the best no matter what. I don't care what your political beliefs are, your religious beliefs. If you're the best man or woman or trans person for the job, you're going to get it. Or you should get it. Gay, straight, whatever. If you can do the best job, that's who should be in that position. Regardless of how I feel about it. Right? We got work to do. Right? This is an Area 51 where we're looking for people to keep their mouths shut. Right? We're not looking for the best of the best. We just need people who can get the job done and keep a secret. And do it, do the job somewhat good. And if we have to ruin their lives, it would be easy. Like they tried to do to Bob Lazar. And that's what politics seems to be doing in Pima County. Running it like Area 51. Right? I don't want the best of the best. I just want people who will keep my secrets. Right? Bob Lazar wasn't the greatest engineer. Wasn't the greatest mathematical mind. But he fit a different kind of profile. A guy who could get it done and also keep his mouth shut. But they were wrong about him. But you guys get the point. You get the metaphor. Tucson girl, interesting tidbit from SG about her mom's 80th birthday. She is a consistent doer of the right thing and the hard thing. Yeah, I get these vibes from Nancy that she would help you no matter what, if she could. The hell are stormworms? Ooh, we got a super chat. Let's go down and see what's going on here with Oakley with the $5 super chat. Did you have a chance to interview DJ Mojito on Saturday? No. But I did go down there to get a really good look at him. He does fit the description of the porch guy. Height, weight, everything. But really that doesn't mean anything, right? We still don't really have a nexus with Mojito and Kalela. So it's just an interesting theory, right? Not only because of what we know about Derek, the hoax ransom guy, but his connection to the music scene and Tommaso's connection to the music scene and even Annie's connection just to that community. It's like this, it's like the underground community of Tucson, right? You got the music, you got the venues, the different, it's like a lifestyle down there. It's a culture thing. So it's just hard to overlook Derek's connection to that and his connection specifically to DJ Mojito and DJ Mojito being really good friends with him and him being based in Tucson, matching the description. Like these could be some either individuals that got the idea because they're connected to Annie and Tommaso or were involved in the crime because of Annie and Tommaso. April says you have a nexus. Mexico for the big Kobayashi wedding. DC and DGM. Yeah, I mean, we have a nexus to the hoax ransom. That's about it. And then also Kayla Day, right? You have DJ Mojito's connection to the fetish community. And Kayla Day is embedded directly into that. And we know her connection to Luke Daly. So we can't ignore that. We just can't. Unless we get new evidence, right? I'm okay going in a new direction. I just want to look at the evidence and see if we can come up with something helpful. And at the best, create a platform where we could receive a tip, provide a tip, or put pressure on law enforcement. Not sure, Monique. Sparky. Thank you, Lorelai. Brenda. There were a few people short. Mojito, Kayla, Derek. So many peeps connected to each other. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just because they're connected doesn't make it like a real actual nexus to Nancy's case. Like, even just because they have a nexus doesn't make a nexus to the actual crime scene on the day of. Oh, we got a super chat. Renee, thank you. It's sad how all these theories fit. Why would anyone hurt a grandma? I don't know. Right? We try to do our best to figure that part out. We even try to think like a psychopath, but the truth is, like, you really can't. Remember we talk about the riddle with the funeral, the lady met a guy at a funeral, she didn't get his name, and then later on she killed her sister. It's like, why did she do that? Well, the answer to the riddle is because she's a psychopath and she wanted to see the guy again and get his name and so that they could reconnect. Right? That doesn't make sense to me in any way. But for a psychopath, it's like we can hardly grasp, how they're motivated by this, especially if they're delusional. Joe, wanted to ask him, but the two different towns caught my attention. That's all I'm pointing out. Yeah, if you find anything on any theories that you're going down, any rabbit holes, feel free to email me, you guys. sleuthintuition@gmail.com. That's sleuthintuition@gmail.com. /MySpace. Just kidding. Thank you, Monique, for participating. Yeah, I give kudos to my wife all the time. She's very supportive. She has a lot of faith in me, and I have a lot of faith in her. She's brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. There's the email. Thank you, Sparky. Cozy Clue Keeper. It's coming back, What's coming back? Oh, MySpace? Yeah, I think I heard that. I mean, it never really left, but if they're going to make a good push to make it nice, I always liked MySpace. It was fun. Look at the long fingernail. That is not a white boy. Well, usually people like this hunt within their own race. And if he's wearing gloves over gloves, it'd be hard to tell if they had long fingernails or not. Kind of see this light right here. Did you guys ever notice the pen that he had right here? Looks like he has a pen or something tucked in. Some kind of tool. Dale. Thank you, SBK. Chris, it was good to see you. I don't know if they have teeth, and I definitely wouldn't be able to tell if they were nice teeth. But you can kind of see the light in his mouth right here. Yeah, that's true, Shirley. Yeah, Bella, and that's what it's really all about. Nobody should have to go through that. I think this is what you're referring to about the fingernails. But I think it could just be the gloves. Never know, really. What's up, Cindy? That sharp nose bridge. Very Tommaso-esque. Even Savannah-esque. It's always good to see you, Dolly, Tucson. Welcome in, Gio. Someone sing. Texas guitar player. Good to see you, Lake Life. All right, guys. If you're part of the replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Drop me a comment, and I'll get back to you. If you guys need to get a hold of me for any other reason, just email me, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And hopefully we can get together on the late night tip and do a call-in session. I always try to do that, so if time permits, look forward to that. It might just come out of nowhere around 7 p.m. our time. So if there's any reason you might want to call, tonight might be a good time to do that. So everybody else, I will definitely catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for participating in the chat and everything that you do to keep this channel sharp and in tip-top shape. Couldn't do it without you guys. So once again, thank you so much for all the support. Steven, welcome in. Tony. So I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Thanks again. I'll see you soon. Peace.